All right, what's going on, everyone? Welcome to Blogs with Invisible Boilon Friday, because my webcam still is busted. Hopefully I'll having a replacement by Monday or Tuesday, so fingers crossed there. So any videos that you see lately and going forward until then will be without my webcam. So you don't have to wonder what kind of t-shirt I'm wearing today, or maybe I'm wearing nothing at all. So you won't know that, of course, because you can't see me. Anyways, we're here to talk about the blog, of course, but some things that I want to point out before we get started here today is that Pocket Dimension 2 is coming back around on Monday. Now, I'm going to have a video out on this tomorrow morning about some of my personal recommendations and best characters that I think you should take into this, but I just wanted to make people aware of this. Anyways, if they had no mail, at least as of yet. Maybe at the store reset they might, but this was here yesterday, Thursday, at the store reset time. This was in on the Dark Dimension page here at the very end, past Dark Dimension 5. You could see some of the rewards here with Pocket Dimension. So a lot of this is very similar to the first round. You get 6 per run, or orange G15 gear pieces here, and then 3 teal G16, times it by 2 if you do both runs, so that's 12 of the orange and then 6 of the teal, with a lot of random sort of origin gear on top of that. So I look forward to that and look forward to my video tomorrow. Other than that, we're just kind of chipping away at the anniversary event. Make sure that you check out my video on the math for that if you haven't already. Also, there is a web milestone web store online. God, I can't even talk. So make sure you're clicking on that and making sure you're claiming that as well on top of this successful brew milestone. So yeah, that's everything. Let's get things started. And we have the blog post today. So it's called Shades of Jean Grey, with Madeline Pryor on the background. Maybe we will get to figure out actually how she's being unlocked. I have to say that I actually really like her model. I think she looks really good, but I don't like that she's a war defense character. And actually, more broadly, if you look at her kit outside of war defense, it's not very good in my opinion. But hey, that's just my thoughts here. So there's going to be some lore about the character. She's essentially a clone of Jean Grey or Phoenix or something. It's in here as well. And that's what I know anyways, but I'm not going to read the whole thing. Nicknamed herself the Goblin Queen, and she's a psychic mutant. She's essentially a clone of Jean Grey. And so, of course, she has to be on the Marauders team. She's associated with Mr. Sinister. She has an okay kit, just outside of... There's a lot of callouts to war defense and a lot of callouts to the Marauders. And she personally attacks the Uncanny X-Men and other mutants. So her viability outside of the team is pretty poor in my opinion. I mean, the kits are here, even though it's actually in-game. So there's actually not a lot of point to checking it out here. Really, you can see it in-game. But you can see all these callouts to the different characters on the Uncanny team. Phoenix, Dark Phoenix, Cyclops, all of this stuff. And then this here. So it's not terrible. It's just her cooldowns are really long. So she is, this does work for 2 turns, and this does apply random debuffs to all these different types of enemies. And it doesn't AoE damage and applies defense down, which is great, but it's a cooldown of 6. So as far as like the usability, say in Dark Dimension Global, because she is a global trait character, I mean, maybe if you really, really have to, but we have to consider what her unlock method is going to be in terms of how high are you going to get free-to-play shards and star levels for her to make her more viable. She's a bit of a glass cannon if you check her stats out. So, yeah, if she's not with the right people, it's going to make it really, really challenging, I think, in my opinion. Her ultimate is a single target attack, and a lot of it is war defense callouts here. And, that's where she generates more ability energy, because if she gets a kill on that, she's getting 2 ability. Oh, actually, it's just for Sinister. I thought it was for her. It doesn't even matter. So, again, really long cooldowns and not a lot of ways to get that back. Her passive also is primarily just with her and the team. When an enemy attacks an Emma Frost, Marauder, or cloned ally. So, unless you're using Emma Frost in Dark Dimension 5 or somebody else, maybe Sabretooth, I don't know, for Dark Dimension 5 Global, there's not a lot of synergy here with her and the other members that you'll be using for that team. So, other than that, it's just stats for herself. The rest of it is in war defense, and so I just don't think more broadly you should be spending much time doing that. But are we going to figure out how she is coming? Nope, we're not. But we're going to figure out more stuff about Doctor Strange Heartless, aka Evil Strange, but we kind of knew most of this already. So it is confirmed for April the 4th, which is just under more like a week and a half now at this point. April 4th is a Monday. Interestingly, the data mine actually suggested that this was going to be on April the 5th. On a Tuesday, so I hope that this is the correct date, which means I guess we'll get to check out a few new things because there is the new heroic campaign difficulty, which is going to change things. It's harder than the previous hard mode difficulty, and the rewards are going to be different. The first time rewards, maybe farmable rewards. So how I'm going to do my video for this when the time comes is that I'm going to actually run a little bit of the heroic difficulty first, and then I'm going to cross-reference it with my spreadsheet to see if any of the orb fragments change in terms of the math for the total number of orbs, and then we're going to add in any of the first time bonuses and things like that, and then I'll release my video. So the video will be sometime after the store reset for the math. Normally I release it in the morning of, but because of the changes here with that, it'll take a little bit longer because I don't have the data behind me to know exactly how it's going to be. Now going forward, of course, with patch 6.1 and beyond, if they're keeping this system, then I can use the data from 6.0 from this event to kind of know what's going to be coming for the next ones. But yeah, so they have mentioned here what's interesting: recommended character details for heroic missions. So this isn't required, but and then you don't need anything for number 1. You can do this with anyone. They give you story characters. It's actually level 70 plus here. Now, ignore the ability levels and the ISO levels. I don't think that's really important, but what's actually important is the gear tier. Holy shit. They actually are suggesting that in order to beat it all, you need gear tier 15 unyielding characters. Wow. So, okay, so that's going to be... Maybe we'll talk about this a little bit beforehand then. If it's as challenging as they're suggesting, now it is a recommendation, but if they're suggesting that gear tier 15 for the level 85 gear tier 15, ISO level 5, 7 stars, this is some pretty high level power. We're talking like 100k plus 120k range power for these unyielding characters. So this might be something that you'll want to take into greater consideration when if you want to do the heroic difficulty and considering which characters you want to use. It's no longer the case where it seems that way that you're going to be autoing this all the way through, because it sounds like it might be a little bit more challenging, which is a good thing, right? You know, a lot of us are looking for that challenge. But yeah, you're going to really want to consider those unyielding characters and which ones that you're going to be using that have the best synergy in order to get through like things like this, like mission 8 and mission 9, which seems to be pretty difficult. So we'll have to see, on whether or not the paper reflects the in practice and how hard it actually is. But yeah, wow. Reward teal gear for completing the hero. I think it's first time rewards. So you'll get the hard mode first time rewards. Again, what I'm curious of is it just teal gear for the first time, and is the orb fragments on the heroic difficulty different than the orb fragments on the hard mode? So are we going to get more orbs for this than we would have in previous events? That's something that I'm going to have to calculate afterwards as well. So that could be interesting, but holy shit. Yeah, level 85 gear tier 15. Look out for more stuff talking about that. Strike Pass Season 14 is going to be Star-Lord T'Challa. So if you need some more shards for him, if you're using him at all, he wasn't very widely available because he was a Blitz character release. So if you didn't unlock them, or if you're looking for more shards to get to that next star rank, then you can do that. Although Strike Pass has not been super stellar lately in terms of the rewards. Arguably, with the changes to Teal Gear and RTA, not that I encourage buying any of the passes, but some might say that the RTA pass actually has more value for people who are looking to get Teal Gear, obviously, because Strike Pass doesn't have any of that. It just has, I guess, some more premium character shards, but that's about it. So weekly events. What do we have here? Promo credits. Yep. Chaos Theory then. Gifted double for X-Men and Brotherhood. We have Magneto's event coming back around. Woo! And a Yo-Yo Blitz if you need it. She is a War Store character, but this is going to be after, I guess, Pocket Dimension, because Yo-Yo is a Pocket Dimension 2 character. However, the ending of this Blitz will be probably towards the tail end of it, and you won't have time to get that. We have Gear Explosion. This is actually pretty good. Well, it sort of is. Actually, the last time we had this, it was bugged, I think, and they were giving a triple gear for certain certain gear minis G14 and G15 minis. So I don't know if this is going to happen again, if they're going to fuck it up again or not. But if they do, hey, that's double and triple minis. We have a Bishop. At first I read Kate Bishop. I was like, nope, my eyes are deceiving me. It's just a regular Bishop. But that's actually not terrible either, because he is a War Store character. So if you need more shards for Bishop, then here we are, March 31st, which is still during the anniversary event. So you have to blitz lots anyway, so you might as well try and collect these Bishop shards. We have double Wakandans for Chaos Theory, and then of course Chaos Theory back on April the 1st, which is going to be next Friday. So that's it. I mean, this is the first kind of blog post after the patch. Normally it's pretty light anyways, but this is probably the most important stuff to talk about here, is the heroic difficulty of the campaign. Very quickly, I do want to go and take a look in game for the unyielding trait very quickly before we end the video. This is something I'm going to be talking about more in a separate video. There is a lot of good characters in here, so I don't think it's going to be too difficult for players to find a good set of characters to use for this. However, I do want to keep in mind that some of the better characters probably in here is going to be Deathpool. If you're a veteran player, it's probably going to include Gamora and Nebula. If you're an older player, newer player, then it might include characters like Lady Deathstrike, Scarlet Spider, Spider-Punk. There's only 2 Web Warriors there, so you're definitely going to need to mix and match your characters. But I don't think you want to go Scorched Earth on this, so I think that you should carefully consider what characters that you want to build and take with you. Realistically, the only support option here is actually Scarlet Witch. I don't think any of them more broadly, I don't know, have support type abilities. A lot of these are kind of DPS type characters, so the problem with using Phoenix, of course, is that she will cause problems for you getting a 3-star on the level. So if you're looking for a first time clear, probably could get away with her, but otherwise there's not a lot of good support options. But we'll take a look at this in more greater detail when the time comes. Obviously, anyone I have towards the bottom probably isn't even worth considering. But yeah, we'll do a separate video on this, the pros and cons of each of the characters, and what I think that you should be building for this, because I think this will be a separate video, because I don't want to engage too long in my actual math video in relation to this, because of the new changes to the heroic difficulty. So keep an eye out for that. I think I will probably do that sometime next week, because the event is in about 10 days or so. So that's the end of this video, everyone. Enjoy your weekend, and of course, we'll look out for tomorrow. I'm going to have a Pocket Dimension 2 video. Hopefully, I'll have my webcam fixed soon. Until next time, stay safe and healthy, and I'll see you all later. Boilon signing out.